Hey everybody, welcome to this different video that you're normally used to. So this is me, I guess, just chatting with you guys, chatting with the camera. I've got some tea with me. It's a green tea with mint. It's really nice as well, actually. So what is this video about? So I thought, let me do a quick kind of channel update, even though it's January, for February. So there's not much coming out in February, if you haven't noticed, gaming-wise. And so I thought, well, I'll take that as an opportunity to do some experimenting on my channel. And in particular, as you kind of saw the other week, I did a video game collection. I've got another one coming, not video game, but something a bit different coming on Thursday. And I just kind of wanted to use this month to try out some different things, see what people like, see what I enjoy doing, and kind of take it from there. There's a couple of games I'm interested in February. One is Horizon Zero Dawn, but that doesn't come out until the end of February. And the other one is a game called Deluvian, which is at the beginning, but I'm kind of waiting to see how that one is. So we've got to wait and see, I guess. So really, February is going to be a month of experimentation on this channel. Don't worry, though. It's not going to mean that we're losing the gaming videos or anything like that. We're not. It's just means that there's going to be some different videos to add in there as well. And we've got some series which are coming to an end of February. So it'll be a good opportunity to test out a few things before the busy month of March comes along. This is kind of the first time I've done something like this on video. So I seem to remember doing my Q&A, which is kind of similar to this. Hopefully this is going to be better quality. I've invested in some new equipment, and we'll just kind of see how it goes, I guess. So the kind of topic of today, and I kind of maybe want to do these weekly and have a different topic each time to just chat about, and it really can range from absolutely anything, I guess, going on. And I invite you guys as well who are watching to suggest topics if you really want me to chat about something with you. But the one today, which I thought we'd go for, would be ASMR. So how I found it, what got me into it, if you kind of think of it as something you get into, what I like about it and what I dislike about it. That's more kind of the whole YouTube scene, I guess, that we have, that I'm kind of a part of, I guess. So I kind of spoke a little bit about how I got into ASMR, but I'll give you a bit more detail, I guess, and I'll be quite honest as well in these videos as well. So there's no point trying to, let's face it, most people, the reason why everybody probably gets into ASMR is because of stress. It's something which affects everybody out there, and to some people lesser and some people more. Some people cope better with it, some people struggle. That's just a natural thing. That's, we're sure once human medicine or technology catches up, we'll understand more, but it's just a thing. And for those of you who don't know, I work in cinemas, and so I have a very strange kind of sleep schedule. It goes from me doing kind of early shifts to late shifts, having a day off and doing another early shift. It kind of changes. Sometimes I could finish work as late as 3-4 a.m. Sometimes I'll be starting at 7 a.m. So trying to get a regular sleep schedule in that time is very, very difficult. It's really tough. and so I needed things which would help me sleep. Now, I'm definitely one of those people who suffers from going to bed or trying to go to bed at a correct time, trying to sleep, and just not being able to. And so being able to watch some relaxing videos about things is great, and that's kind of how I fell into ASMR. It's not the only reason why I watch kind of ASMR videos. So the main reason I started was obviously to help with sleeping, but as in particular, I think it was 2 Christmases ago. Yeah, it's not last Christmas, Christmas before. And for those who don't know, or didn't remember, but that was when the first Star Wars came out. When I say first, I mean Force Awakens, the first of the new trilogy, and that was a really busy time in cinemas. But it was actually busier leading up to it for those of us working in the industry, because that's when you have to prepare. And I found myself getting really very stressed out because of it. And different people deal with stress or affected by stress in different ways. I'm not the sort of person who gets into kind of big angry rants and panics and stuff like that when I get stressed, or goes and cries or something like that. Whenever I deal with stress, I'll always try to deal with the thing which is causing me stress, solve that, and then the stress goes away. But sometimes there's just not enough hours in the day, and it builds up and builds up, and it finally I got ill. I got like a stomach virus, kind of like a week before. Now, coinciding with it, I was actually on holiday that week, so I had a kind of rotten holiday, a week off, where I should have been kind of visiting friends and family before the busy Christmas. I was actually just in bed, just feeling really ill. I went to the doctor, I got diagnosed with a stomach virus. I had like some antibiotics or something to go with it. And what I realised was, as someone who doesn't get ill very often at all, and I'm saying I've never taken a day off sick in about the last 10 years of my working career, and that's a genuine fact. I'm quite proud of that. I just don't generally get ill, and so to get ill like that for the first time in a long time was a real eye-opener. And I realised that it was down to the way I was managing my stress levels, and ASMR was very helpful, the kind of videos and watching it and doing those sort of things. But it also made me realise that this is something which, if you don't solve in your life, if you don't take time to de-stress, to relax, it's something which will manifest itself physically, mentally, and eventually it can kill you. There are many, many people out there who die from stress-related illnesses, and it's kind of a modern disease. We put so much pressure on ourselves in our daily lives to achieve things, to do things, that sometimes we just don't take enough time out to actually relax and enjoy. And since that time, and making the channel as well, because I started probably a month and a bit after that, I have found myself just dealing a lot better with it. I've not really been ill at all since then, other than the odd cold or something like that. And so yeah, it's just kind of, I found the kind of ASMR videos around that time very helpful to just relax, just watch them, de-stress, because when you get ill, it also adds more stress, because then you can't do the things you want to do, or maybe you're stressed because you need to do something at work or in your personal life, and you can't do it because you feel rotten all the time. And sometimes you just need to take some time out. It's important, it really is. No matter how old you are, what job, what life you have, it is important sometimes to take some time out. And so that's kind of where I found ASMR. Now, on a personal level, I'm not really into the whole kind of triggers and tingles and things like that. That doesn't, not that it doesn't appeal to me, it's just it's not something which I personally find that relaxing. Tapping, things like that totally appreciate there are lots of people out there who love that, and there's obviously loads of choice out there, but it's not for me personally. I much prefer the kind of more, well, when somebody's talking, for example, I like the odd kind of offbeat, weird thing that someone like Ephemeral Rift will do. The odd kind of things like that, just interesting kind of ones. I found myself recently watching a channel called Peaceful Cuisine, which isn't even an ASMR channel, but it's just somebody just cooking, just making food. There's no talking, there's no music, it's just the sounds of the cooking. It's actually quite relaxing. So yeah, there's lots of different things which I watch on the channel, but that's really how I got into ASMR as a whole. Now, what do I like about it? So, I've been watching ASMR for, I don't know, maybe 5 years, maybe a little less, and certainly there's a lot more experimentation and variety nowadays than you'll see. Even in the last kind of year, 2 years, you see many more channels pop up. You see some pop up and then disappear off, and you see come back and disappear, and it's the kind of natural ebb and flow of a YouTube channel. I see lots of different varieties. Sometimes some channels will focus on a particular theme, maybe like mine with gaming, or there are others who just kind of try to stick with one particular thing that maybe they really enjoy or they like, and that's great. And there are others which do a big wide variety of different things, and there's this kind of experimentation going on that is really good. It's really cool because one of the things I dislike about ASMR videos is that there's a tendency for a lot of channels or a lot of people who may be starting out to see what's popular and just do that. So whether it's a specific role play or specific type of video, and be oh, this will help push my channel, I'll do a video on this. And maybe it's not something which they are fully into, but they kind of feel like it's a kind of a rite of passage when you start it. But there is a lot of channels out there which do experimenting stuff, and it's really cool. And that kind of leads me on to the next thing which I like, which is the quality. So you will see often a lot of channels with really good quality videos. You're seeing a lot more kind of 4K stuff, seeing a lot more audio quality, and just the general kind of quality of production of the videos as well. So you can have the best camera in the world, the best mic setup, but if you kind of don't look at the other little details and things like that, then I guess your video won't ever get to that top level. And somebody who does that really well is Phoenician Sailor. If you watch any of his kind of roleplay videos, there's an incredible amount of detail that goes into the background, stuff like that. And he probably doesn't quite get the recognition he deserves. He's got a lot of subs and things like that, but I think his videos are really kind of pushing the limit of the quality and production that you will see on YouTube at the minute. A lot of the time ASMR videos can be pretty easy to make. I mean, I'm just sat here in front of a camera and doing it, so I'm not one to talk, am I? But when you see somebody who does put that kind of amount of quality and passion into it, it really shows, I think, definitely. And I mean, other things, obviously, as I've said, the kind of the imagination that goes into it as well, and just the choice out there as well of what you want. One day you might really want to watch somebody whispering, or you might want to watch somebody doing a role play about something, or you might want to, just whatever you want, it's there basically, which is great. And really, not the final thing, but the final thing I'm going to say about liking ASMR is the community itself. So what I kind of like about it is if you go on more mainstream, I wouldn't even say mainstream, but okay, channels which are more about mainstream subjects, their comments can often be just a car crash, of just memes and just abuse, and just I don't know why people feel the need to be so negative in comments. I often think it's a jealousy thing. It's fine. I personally never take a negative comment to heart. It's if it's a constructive comment, brilliant. If it's non-constructive, just whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? I know there's people out there who really do, and my advice is just read the other comments you've got which are positive, and if it's just somebody being an idiot, it's just someone being an idiot. If you enjoy making the videos, keep making them. It doesn't really matter. And a lot of the time, if I do get a negative message, I'll usually click on that person's channel. Often there's no videos on there, so it's kind of like, yeah, well, if you come to just criticize, you should probably show an example of the way you do something better, I would say, personally. Not that if someone's constructive their criticism, I will just dismiss it. I always try to take on board whatever people say. You just can't really let it come to your heart. You've got to have the confidence in what you do, and a little bit of faith as well, that what you do is going to reach an audience out there who want to watch it. And really that comes down onto the things I dislike. But really the things I dislike are more kind of YouTube specific. So spam is one. I dislike spam not because it annoys me that I get spam comments, people asking me to sub. It annoys me because those people don't have the confidence that their videos are going to go out there and people are going to find them. And I mean, sometimes you can see a channel which will spam you, and I usually do click on those channels which spam me. I've never ever subbed to one, but I'm always intrigued to know what this person's channel is. Like, how are they, why don't they have confidence in what they're doing? A lot of the time it's because their channel is just, in my personal opinion, just not very good. It'll just have very, very generic type videos on there, and because there's 10,000 Call of Duty videos every day on YouTube, their content's not getting seen, so they have to try to spam it. And obviously if they did something maybe a little bit different, it might get seen. But other times, sometimes there's channels where you're like, well, you know what, there's nothing wrong with this channel, why are you trying to spam? And I appreciate that people are trying to get a leg up and do things like that, but I often think that I guess it depends what you want out of YouTube. If you're on there because you want to make some money, then I think there's easier ways to do it. Maybe there isn't, maybe I'm wrong, but I really think there's easier ways to go and make just money. And if it's because you're like, well, I want to become a really big YouTuber and make a living off of it, and be able to play games for a living or make videos for a living and do that, that's my dream, then do you want to get to that point by spamming? Like, is that, if you get there and you've got like 10,000 subs but 5,000, 6,000 of them are spam who never watch a single video, like, is that achieving something? Or is that, I think I'd rather have the subs I have now, where I hope that the majority of them are subbed to me because they enjoy my content, than have 10,000 subs but 60-70% of them just don't watch a thing I ever do, and I just have never watched anything. They just sub because I've subbed to them, or some way or other. So that's me personally. I don't know, but as I say, that's more YouTube specific than ASMR. I've already spoken about kind of the way some will do. You kind of almost now get quite generic ASMR videos, as I said, I think sometimes people see it as a rite of passion. You have to do this specific video here to be an ASMR channel. You have to do this specific role play. You know, how many people have heard of a cranial nerve until, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago? Now there's probably 1,000,001 role play videos on YouTube. But I don't think it's that much of a problem, and I'd rather people did that than spam. The next one is just to do with adverts and revenue. So it's more kind of aimed at YouTube as a whole. I think the future of YouTube will revolve around people being able to pick their own adverts. My problem is that I have no problem with people monetizing their videos with an advert at the beginning. My problem is always with an ASMR channel that advert is usually really loud and obnoxious, and it just takes you out of the mood, you know. And then you have the other side of things where it's like, okay, I could put that at the end, but it kind of does the same thing. Or you could not put that advert in at all and just have the kind of banner adverts, but you're basically half your revenue on YouTube. So, you know, for a channel to survive and obviously making money off YouTube, I do not begrudge anybody putting adverts on there. It's just annoying, and hopefully there'll be something in the future where perhaps you can choose the advert you want, so you could have more of a relaxing advert at the beginning. It also kind of forces more people, I'd say, in a way, to do more sponsored videos, which I'm not a huge fan of in a way. That's more towards the gaming community, because those videos often come across really fake. I don't think it's as much of a problem in the ASMR community as a whole. And hopefully as well, we'll see more things like Patreon come about, where it allows people who create content to survive via fan funding. So it might sound bad, it's just like, oh, I'd have to pay for videos rather than having to watch them, but a lot of the time Patreon is totally at the choice of, you know, the viewer. They can choose to donate money, you can choose to not donate money. A lot of the time you'll get bonuses if you do, but it won't cut off the content which you usually enjoy, most of the time I'd say. And as a patron for a few channels, it's, I don't know, it feels like a nice thing to do, to know that you're supporting that content creator who wants to make great content but doesn't want to have to sell out. One example I give is a channel called NoClip, which was set up by a guy called Danny O'Dwyer. He was a video games journalist, or at least he was, and decided to go out on his own. And he didn't want to have the constraints of a giant like marketing company on him, you know, forcing him to do this and say this. He wanted to just make the videos he wanted to make, and he's been really, really successful. So it kind of proves that you can do things like that out there, and also it means that it's more about how talented you are. You know, if you can really do good things, you deserve, I think, every single penny you get, which is nice. And I guess the last thing which I kind of wanted to talk about is more the kind of sexualization of ASMR videos, or just videos in general on YouTube. I don't find it funny, because I know why people do it. It's for money. But by the way, I don't think it's a huge problem in ASMR. I think it's a tiny percentage of videos where, so what I'm talking about is specifically where the person is specifically using kind of sexual themes or suggestions within the thumbnail, etc., to get clicks on their video. I'm not saying that if somebody is attractive, like they're using that in their video. That's not the case at all, is it? You know, it's where people are specifically trying to sell that specific element of their video to get clicks, usually by teenagers, boys, girls, maybe, I don't know. I personally feel it's really creepy, sleazy, and it's I don't know. My point is kind of, I feel like there's enough porn on the internet that you don't really need to invade YouTube with it. And it would be nice if YouTube could be a place where people can come along to escape that side of the internet, the sleazy side of the internet, and just enjoy videos. I appreciate that sometimes people want to make money, but perhaps there are other ways you can do that via those means. As I said, I don't begrudge anybody who wants to look attractive on camera. That's obviously not what I'm talking about in any way. It's not like gentle whispering. Like, it's not like I'm thinking that that's what she's doing. She's just obviously a very attractive lady who makes videos and wants to look her best when she makes the videos. It's not like everybody should be forced to not wear makeup or something. But I think we've all come across videos where you're just like, yeah, there's something wrong with this video, It just feels really sleazy and obvious. And I kind of feel like, I hope it just stays in a minority, because the problem I have with it is that ASMR is kind of becoming more mainstream, and it's already kind of got a bit of a reputation as being this weird thing, when it's not at all. But it's got this reputation of being this weird thing already, and when something has a reputation like that, or when people don't understand things, they fear them. And when people fear something, they'll try to destroy it. They'll try to make out that it is this sleazy sexual thing that people click on, and that's obviously not the case at all. So I hope it, I don't want that to be used as like the flag that flies, the ASMR flag, and it's in danger of doing so, because people will, as ASMR becomes more mainstream, as I said, people won't understand it. They'll fear it. It's something different, and they'll try to, there'll be, if you look at video games, for example, something like Grand Theft Auto, there was a massive uproar, games like that, because they were so violent, and people were claiming that they were causing teenagers to go and kill other teenagers and do all this sort of stuff, which is really utter nonsense. And it's because the people doing this, they didn't play the games. They had no idea about them. They saw a clip, 10 seconds of someone firing a rocket launcher into someone else, not realising context or anything like that. And I worry that will happen to ASMR if, these kind of sleazy videos become, they'll be used against it, basically. And, I don't know. I feel like there's other places people can put those videos up and earn money, and YouTube probably isn't one of them. But having said that, I can never begrudge anybody earning a living through doing what they want. And again, if it falls within the rules and guidelines of YouTube, then who am I to argue? I guess. But yeah, so I guess this has just been a kind of a video ramble. Some of my ideas on ASMR and stuff like that, and a little kind of mini channel update. And again, I hope to kind of do maybe something like this once a week and see how we go. Yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. If you're still with me, you didn't click off after 10 seconds. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.